all over again. So if you understand number 11, I would recommend try doing number 12 on your own and then comparing the answers and checking my work and see how, if it works, if it jives. So here we go, number 12. Just to use a little more space, I'll move it down here. Okay, so for number 12, my expression, all in parentheses on the first part, is 4x plus 12y minus 17. 4x plus 12y minus 17. Close the parentheses. Subtraction sign in the middle. Parentheses 8x minus 11y plus 16. All right, so it looks like that I don't have to do too much distribution at first sight, but in actuality, remember there's some invisible math here. This negative sign implies that there's a -1 in front of my parentheses here, which means that I'm going to have to do some distribution over here on the far right-hand side. However, I don't have anything but a invisible +1 in front of these parentheses, and that will not affect the values. +1 times 4 stays positive, and this +1 times a -17 will still stay negative. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and I'm going to rewrite this expression, and I can pretty much just drop the parentheses on the left side. 4x plus 12y minus 17. They had nothing to be distributed, so they just remain the same. Now I'll distribute the right-hand side. -1 times a +8x gives me a -8x, which shows up as a -8x. -1 times a -11, a negative times a negative will be a positive, so that gives me a plus or positive 11y. And finally, I have a -1 times a +16. A negative times a positive is a -16 in this case. So now it's just a matter of combining my like terms. So I'll go in alphabetical order with my variables. I have 4x's, positive 4x's there, minus 8x's. 4x's minus 8x's is -4x's. Now I'll go ahead and combine my y's. I have positive 12y's, and I'm going to add 11 more y's. So 12 plus 11 gives me a total of positive 23 y's. And then I have some whole numbers to deal with. So first thing I have is a -17. I have a -17 right there because the subtraction sign is attached to that 17, so it treats it like a negative. -17, and now it's a subtraction problem, minus 16 more. -17 minus 16 gives me a -33, or which represents as a -33 when I combine it with all the other terms. And that also coincides with the answer for my equation. So finally, we have one more problem on the front part of our review, and that is going to be problem number 13, and that is a triangle problem. So the problem says the base of an isosceles, actually let me bring the paper before I read again. My bad, I'm sorry. Here we go. The base of an isosceles triangle is 5x plus 18, and a side is 2x minus 10. Find the perimeter. All right, so we have basically everything we need to know. I'll go ahead and recreate it because I like using my own paper to do my own thoughts and have more space. So I have an isosceles triangle. Isosceles means that we have two sides that are congruent. That means they have the same length. And they tell me that in this isosceles triangle, the base is 5x plus 18. Okay, so there we go, 5x plus 18. And the side is 2x minus 10. And if one side is 2x minus 10, the congruent side is also 2x minus 10. All right, so I need the perimeter. Well, perimeter is just adding up all the sides of any given shape. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and straight up add everything visually because there's nothing to distribute or multiply, nothing that really gets complicated. So basically, this is just one big problem of combining like terms. So let's go ahead and do that. In my left side over here, I have 2 x's. I'll combine that with the right side, which is 2 more x's, which is 4x. The bottom has 5 x's for a combined total of 9 x's. All right, that wasn't too difficult. Now we have some whole numbers. Well, not whole numbers. We have some numbers to deal with. We have -10, and then I'm going to subtract 10 more from that. So -10 minus 10 is a -20. Then I'm going to add 18. So negative 20 plus 18 leaves me with a negative, or in this case, a minus 2, because negatives and minus signs are interchangeable. And there's my perimeter, and that does satisfy the last remaining solution on my answer key. So I hope those ones were helpful for you, and good luck.